and welcome to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host, Joe DeMarini. How are we doing today, Joe?
Fantastic. My parents, shout out my mom and dad, got me this Flyers hoodie. So now
Lovely.
it is super cozy and warm, and it's a great night to watch a hockey game. We don't usually record on game days, so I'm stoked to watch some Flyers hockey this evening. How about you, Gilbs? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make the podcast today. I had this eruption of red spots on my chest and abdomen. I had to run to the bathroom. And I had to run to the bathroom again 17 seconds later. I got TyFo fever, baby. TyFo fever.
Oh,
what a game from TyFo and the Flyers on Saturday night. But
wasn't sure where you were going with that one.
No, I'm doing good. Yeah, recording here on a game day because I'm leaving tomorrow, so we can't record on Tuesday. But yeah, let's get ahead of this 4-6 stretch, big stretch for the Flyers coming up after a big 2 wins at home. And there, of course, we'll get into that. Top of the show here, we got thank our sponsor of FanDuel, though. Thanks to FanDuel for sponsoring the show, and I'm sure the Flyers odds have had to come down after the weekend to make the playoffs. They're now at plus 155. They're inching down. They're getting down there. They're close to the Rangers are plus 145, Leafs plus 135. So
Wow.
Flyers, the market's starting to respect them. They have the as of Saturday night was the third best point percentage in the conference. Still the third best point percentage in the conference. Fourth is the Lightning. So big matchup tonight against the Lightning. No Braden Point for Tampa Bay, but it is Sam Ersson and net, not Dan Vladar, which is always disappointing so far this season.
Well, Ersson seems to have it out for the Florida teams, the Panthers particularly. I'm surprised that he's not starting against the Panthers. Oh, maybe he will. If he plays well tonight, maybe they'll start him again. But yep, no Braden Point, which sucks for my fantasy team, RIP. But no, it should be good. We'll get into the predictions at the end because we do have a little bit of, not breaking news now, but a big piece of news from earlier today.
Yeah.
Jet Luchenko has flown out of Guelph. He's gotten out of the Storm, and he's now joined the Brantford Bulldogs, the best team in the CHL or OHL.
CHL, the whole CHL. They haven't lost in regulation yet. They have a few overtime shootout losses. But no, Jet Luchenko goes to the Brantford Bulldogs, where it is head coached by Jay McKee, who was, kind of in the running or rumored to be a potential candidate for the Flyers head coach. He interviewed, yeah. So yeah, he was there. Now he gets to coach Jet Luchenko, and Jet Luchenko goes to play with a team that has other players that are going to make the NHL. So that's always a good thing, coming off a 5-assist game I think I saw over the weekend at some point. So yeah, this is what the big thing with Luchenko has been. We don't want to send him back to a bad team. What is he going to do there? And he's playing well there. Now he's going to go to an even better team, and we'll see what he can do probably in the role that he should be in. Like, he's going to be probably second line center there. I don't know what their roster looks like, but yeah.
Jake O'Brien should be the first line center.
Yeah, you could have had 2 Flyers there. Flyers ended up getting Jake O'Brien. But yeah, good to see Luchenko finally get traded from Guelph to one of the best teams, if not the best team in the OHL.
Yeah, and I see some fans out there. I see you saying, oh, just as he was finding success in Guelph, you trade him? That's dumb. Get over it. Y'all have been begging for him to get traded off the Guelph Storm since the day he was drafted. Like, they finally do it, and oh, it was the wrong time to do it. Shut up. Just just enjoy things.
You're telling me Flyers fans are mad about something for no reason? Like, that doesn't sound like them. Does not sound like them at all.
No, never. God damn.
But yeah, I don't know a ton about the OHL, but Thomas wrote up the newser on BroadStreetHockey.com with some good analysis there. So go read that. And yeah, just another team to follow here for the. It'll probably be much more fun to watch than the Guelph Storm games, I would imagine.
What winning teams are usually more fun to watch, right?
Yeah, this is true. And the Flyers. Speaking of winning teams, the Flyers, 2 big wins over the weekend. Not over the weekend, but Thursday night against the Blues. Big comeback win. Went down 2-0 early. Justin Falk getting a pair of goals, and then they battle back for a 3-2 overtime win. We both had a 5-2 Flyers win, but still got the W there. And then Saturday, they go down once again, 1-0. I think they've given up the first goal in I saw some stat, but it's a lot of game. It's
Their
way
record giving up the first goal is like 8-3-2 or something ridiculous like that, where they give up the first goal and usually win.
8-4-2 when the opponent
8-4-2.
scores first. So that's 14 of their 20 games so far have given up the first goal. They're 3-2-1 when they score first. So give up the first goal. Why not? There and gave up the first one to the Devils. Like, oh, this is going to be another Devils game. No Jack Hughes, but Hischier is still out there. And then Igor Zamula steps up and gets the puck on net. Goes to Noah Cates. And then just Noah Cates, a beautiful backhand saucer pass to Tyson Forster. He has a rocket. I want Tyson Forster set up in the OV spot on the power play. The power play's gone a bit cold. Let's switch things up. Let's get TyFo in that spot, blasting some one-timers.
That Cates pass was stunning. I was reading Down Goes Brown on The Athletic today, and it's his weekly ranking of teams, and he didn't rank the Flyers, but he was like, Flyers are in a wild card spot. Are they for real? Do you want to know the truth or watch him sock 3 diggers in 26 seconds? And he's like, he specifically highlighted that Noah Cates pass, like, that was filthy. I'm like, yeah, people are taking notice, just like our sponsors at FanDuel taking notice of the Flyers like being a legit playoff option. National media is starting to as well. Zamula +5. Nick Steeler, I think, was also +5.
Yeah, that would make sense. But both the same pair.
That's still like a ridiculous stat. Yeah. 6 goals scored, and you were on the ice for 5 of them going in.
Yeah, good Zamula stuff. Very much needed to get back into the lineup. I mean, Noah Juleson just had to get out of it. I think the game against the Blues was quite possibly his worst game as a Flyer. I went back and rewatched the highlights, and like both of the Blues goals, you could say Noah Juleson didn't really do his job on them. Like, he wasn't directly at fault for them, but he was out of position, and that led to Falk being wide open on the kind of back door there. And I forget what happened on the first one, but no, I think he just hit the guy. When Igor Zamula had a few plays on Saturday night where he stepped up with the guy, used his stick to not let the puck get deep, and that completely changes things. And that's what Zamula can do. And I don't think we've seen Steeler Zamula that often, and I kind of like what they could bring.
Yeah, I agree. That's a fine third pair, but most importantly, Noah Juleson getting scratched. You were always like, yo, when Risto comes back, they're not scratching Juleson. They're going to make it work. They've done it now, and Risto's not even healthy. So I wonder if we might like Risto's due back in 2-ish weeks, hopefully 3 weeks. If Rick Tocchet wants to stick with the Andre Drysdale pair and Zamula Sealer continue to play well, we may not see too much Noah Juleson through the rest of the calendar year.
I would be
fine by me.
I would be very happy to see that. I could see the Flyers flipping Andre or Zamula, probably Zamula more than Andre, for that depth center that Elliot Friedman talked about on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Trade a depth defenseman for a depth center, but also like if Nick Delorier is going to be your 12th forward, just go 11-7, and then you can have Noah Juleson as a PK guy, because you can't have Juleson Sealer as a pair, but like having him extra, like if Sanheim is in the box, then you have York, Sealer, Zamula, and Juleson killing penalties, and you don't. I mean, I trust Drysdale to do it, but then you can save him for 5-on-5. It's not a huge deal, but basically get Nick Delorier out of the lineup.
The Flyers are like what, 8-1-1 with Nick Delorier?
Yes,
I know. It's
they have
like,
points in every game. I think it's 8-0-1 or 9-0-1 or something crazy like that.
Incredible. No, I wouldn't even do that. Like, this team's forwards are defensively minded enough that it's unorthodox, but you could probably run a 3-forward, 1 defenseman PK unit if one of your guys is in the box. Like, I don't know who's killing penalties right now. It's I know TyFo is
TyFo, Dvorak, Hathaway, Couturier, Konechny, I think are and Cates, of course. There's more than enough for. You're not going 3 forwards on a PK though, Joe. Come on.
Listen, TK isn't even killing penalties right now. I just went on a daily face-off for the lineups. PK unit 1 is Coots, Dvorak, Sealer, Sanheim. PK 2 is Cates, Hathaway, York, Zamula. So like you
have to use three offensive pairs though sometimes.
I guess, but like I don't know. There's no reason to go 11-7 again. That was like a torts thing, and
Yeah,
it's not necessary right now.
I don't think Tocchet likes to do it. I don't think he will do it, but I'm just
He
I
likes
just want.
having an extra defenseman like with the team,
Mhm.
but I don't think he would do 11-7 unless his hands were truly tied.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I just want a more effective fourth line. I like the three
Yeah.
top lines are kind of clicking right now. We like what we
Yeah.
see from them. Then the fourth line is fine. It's fine. Nick Delorier, I thought he would get a fight against the Devils, but I guess when you go up 4-1, there's really no need to. Matvei
Why
Michkov
bother?
out there defending himself, which was fantastic to see. His breakaway goal was great as well. Zegras, great breakaway goal. Sean Couturier had a pair of nice assists there as well. He's the type of guy that can use his body, use his stick to hold up the defense for like an extra half second and let Michkov fly the zone.
They were talking about it on the broadcast. Were you at that game or were
I
you
was.
what?
I was at the game.
Yeah. That place looked like it was rocking.
It
It looked
was fantastic. Yes.
That's awesome. The on the broadcast they were talking about the Brink goal because it was Couturier
Yes.
who
Yep.
dished it off the wall, and I think it was Boosh was like, "That's exactly what Tocchet has been saying. Hold on to pucks, use your body positioning, make a play. Don't just get rid of it immediately. Take a second and see what's developing around you, then make the play." So I bet you they're going to point to that in the video review and be like, "This is
Mhm.
exactly what we want you to
Yeah.
do." Um, yeah, God, I hope you weren't getting a beer or like going to the
No,
bathroom.
no, I wasn't. I make sure to go before the periods or intermissions. I do not go during play. No.
It was the middle of the first period. I'd be shocked if people were like out of their seats. They're
I mean,
more likely probably arriving late than they are like
yeah.
getting up to go
Yeah.
do shit. Because last year against the Minnesota Wild, I think there was like a Wild goal and then a Sealer goal and a Couturier goal in like the first
Yes.
3 minutes of play. I missed all of them.
Yeah.
Like I just showed up 3 minutes late and missed. My friend and I walk into the arena. We're going to our seats. We look up at the scoreboard and we're like, "It's 2-1 already. How did this happen?"
Yeah,
That's
no,
just
that was absolutely insane. But like, yeah, Couturier, he knocked a mid-air pass down to feed, I think, Michkov on the first one there. And yeah, just they took advantage of Jake Allen not looking good in net, just getting pucks on net on him, Forster
oh,
on that second one. It was just fantastic there. I was just laughing after the third goal. I was just belly laughing because there's Devils
re-
fans in the arena. There's Devils fans around us. It was a great time there to take down the
they
Devils.
exist. They
Yeah,
exist.
they do exist there. Uh,
Remember when everybody this summer was like, "Oh, we gotta sign Jake Allen. We gotta sign Jake Allen. He's the only like reasonable." And then the Flyers just spanked the Devils. I wonder if part of it was like, you know who works for the Devils these days?
Chuck Fletcher does it, doesn't he?
He does.
Oh, and Brad Shaw. I forgot about Brad
It's
Shaw's
true.
return to Philadelphia.
Oh,
So,
did they do a like a?
no,
They probably didn't do a.
no,
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 that's
no,
too bad.
not for them. But yeah,
Miss you,
I mean,
Shawsy.
Dan Vladar
Look,
was fantastic. Like that could have very well gone to overtime. That could have very well gone to overtime after being up 4-1 because the Devils are a good team. Even without Jack Hughes, without a few other depth pieces, they're a good team. And the Flyers gave up a bit too much in the second and third period. But yeah, Vladar, some huge stops. I know the Devils scored one after a boarding call was missed on Sanheim.
that was dumb.
That was unfortunate there. But Flyers power play has also been cold. Penalty kill has now given up a power play goal in 3 straight. So that's going to be
Mm.
something to look for tonight
They're still
against Kucherov.
their PK must still be like third or fourth in the league at this point, right? I think it must still be top 5.
Yeah, I think it has to still be, I mean, pretty good here. They are
'Cause it
at
was
85%, which is the fifth best.
yeah,
Lightning, 87.3, the second best there for Tampa Bay. So,
because the
um,
Flyers were like second best during the Blues game.
yeah.
I think they said on the broadcast. So,
Mhm.
um, they'll tighten it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the biggest storylines to come out of the team since we last recorded is that Emil Andre Jamie Drysdale pairing. They put them together in the second period of that Blues game. Andre with that first where he almost scored when it was 1-0.
Oh,
That was an amazing play. Then there was a play in the second period when he was skating back, he was being chased. He took it around the net and just fucking one man zone entry just going in there. Like he's small, but he knows how to use it. He knows how to use his brain, which is what Tocchet was talking about when Charlie asked him, like, will you give them some runway? He was like, yeah, I coached Quinn Hughes. He's not a big guy. He used his brain, he used his hockey sense, he used his skating. And Jamie Drysdale and Emil Andre aren't going to be Quinn Hughes, but they could be a pretty good second pair that can both move the puck.
I think so too. And like, I know maybe the Flyers brass doesn't love it because they're both smaller guys. They're like, you gotta have a small pair. But when there's chemistry, it works. Like, you don't mess with it. It's fun to see Andre because I think going into his draft year, his skating was a bit of a knock against him. So the fact that he's able to utilize it this way. Flyers are really good at finding small guys with questionable skating and turning them into like legit players. Yeah. Andre, Brink, TyFo's not small, but bad skater. Now he's fine. Michkov, still not great. We'll see with Martone. Yeah. No, I'm excited to see them together again tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andre's finally like settling in. He's finally probably feels safe. Like, okay, if I make a mistake, I'm fine. I'm not going to be sent down. He's now played 7 games in a row. First 4 of them, 11 minutes, 13, 11. But then at St. Louis played 18, at Dallas played 21, 19 and 18 the past 2 games. Like he's getting the leash that he should have. Like
he's being given the role of a top 4 defenseman. And now that I've said that, he's going to be immediately demoted back to the AHL, just like last year.
Yeah, it's really impressive where the Flyers defense is right now compared to 2 months ago coming out of training camp. We were like, they don't even have 6 NHL defensemen. Now we're like, okay, get Andre in there, get Zamula in there. Like Noah Juleson, Tocchet wasn't playing him too much. He was doing his third pair role, but like they have guys now that maybe they do end up making a depth trade or a depth defenseman for a 4th line center.
Dare I say, when Risto comes back, if everybody who's here now is still healthy, they might actually have like a good blue line. Not just like a passable one, but a good one. Because Risto, like, he has turned himself into a quality defensive second pair defenseman. And if you keep these pairs, he's going to be playing on your third pair with like Sealer. If they keep the Andre Drysdale stuff together. If they break that up at some point, it changes the math. Or if they break up York Sanheim, but why would you do that at this point? Mm-hmm. So if you're playing Risto on your third pair, you got a pretty good squad of 6 right there.
Yeah, I do wonder what happens when Risto comes back because I don't think they'll like Risto and Sealer together. I think that's two defensive defensemen together. Maybe they do the Andre and Risto and then go back to Drysdale and Sealer, and they would have a good blue line. And the number 1 defenseman there is Travis Sanheim, who Danny Briere tried to trade. He tried to trade him to St. Louis when he came in because Sanheim wasn't being deployed properly. He wasn't getting the number 1 minutes because Ivan Provorov was a crybaby and wanted to play power play 1 and the top minutes there.
God.
And Sanheim, second pair guy on a big contract. Briere was coming in trying to move out contracts, and thank God Torrey Krug said no to come to Philly. Because where would we be if Travis Sanheim was traded?
It was poetic, him getting the game winner against the St. Louis Blues, which is where he would have wound up. His contract hadn't even kicked in when Briere tried to trade it. He was trying to move it out before day 1.
Yeah.
And Torrey Krug didn't waive his no trade clause. So as a bit of a refresher, the reported terms of the deal were the Flyers were going to send Travis Sanheim and Kevin Hayes to the Blues for either pick 25 or pick 29 in the 2023 draft, which the Blues had gotten for, I believe, Ryan O'Reilly and Tarasenko, maybe. That seems anyway. And maybe like a 6th round pick and Torrey Krug. And Torrey Krug said, I'm not coming to Philly. Travis Sanheim stayed here. And I think a few of us were thinking, what's the butterfly effect of if Sanheim had been traded? First of all, this team would not have been anywhere near a playoff spot in 2023-24.
No.
They probably would have been picking top 10. And
but that's good. They would have tanked then, Joe. They would have been able to get a number 1 center. You got to tank to get these number 1 centers, number 1 defensemen.
We're going to talk about that later, but we're going to talk about that. But so they probably would have finished in the top 10 there. Probably would have had another number one or another first round prospect from 2023. Notable players that would have been available at 25: Quentin Musty, Easton Cowan, who is famously Denver Barkey's line mate in London the last 2 seasons. Callum Ritchie, who I believe is tearing it up for the Islanders now. He was an Avs pick.
Yep.
And at 29, David Edstrom, who isn't really a notable prospect, but he was picked, traded, and then I think he was traded again. Like, I think Vegas selected him and then traded him for something. Oh, Thomas Hurdle. They traded him for Thomas Hurdle.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
the Predators flipped Edstrom as part of the Askarov package, I think.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
yeah,
no,
that's what it was. The
Predators.
Yeah, the Predators specifically wanted Edstrom. We were like, oh, they're fly, because I wanted Askarov on the Flyers. Like, I was like, we probably could beat that deal, but apparently the Predators wanted Edstrom specifically. And looking at that draft, the Flyers had the number 22 pick. If they got the number 25, maybe they trade up and like they're able to grab. I don't know a ton about these guys up here, like maybe a Dvorsky type with the Blues, like I don't know, Matthew Wood, like Sandin Pellikka for defenseman, but yeah, it's a huge butterfly effect. Like it's the same thing. We have it here, and we talk about it with like the Cutter Gauthier trade. Like, oh, what if Cutter Gauthier? Imagine if Cutter Gauthier was still a Flyer. It's like that, like that viral video. It's like, oh, if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike. Like
she'd be a bike.
She'd be a bike. Like it's just, there's just so many things that would have changed. Like, yeah, having Cutter Gauthier on this team right now would be great, but you wouldn't have Drysdale. And I imagine people would be like, oh, we need to trade a winger for a defenseman. And that's what Briere did. And it didn't look great at the time. Gauthier was coming off. Was he the player of the tournament for Team USA? Or was he just the captain? I think he was the captain. They had gold. And they got Drysdale, who had, missed training camp, had injuries. Also got a second round pick that they either used or gave back. Jack Martag there. Yeah. And probably helped pave the way for Trevor Zegras trade for Ryan Poehling and picks there. So
yeah, we talked about it 2 weeks ago or last week, I think, where like scenario A, you have Gauthier, Bouillon, and Perreault. Scenario B, you have Luchenko, Drysdale, Mertag, Zegras. And I'm like, there's a case to be made for either of those. But with the Sanheim thing, if they finish in the top 10, do they pick Berkeley Catton? Is Berkeley Catton available to them at like 8? Do they pick Sam Dickinson, who is Oliver Bonk's former teammate? Like, suddenly it changes that draft. And then in 2025, do they still need Jack Nesbitt, or do they trade up for Jackson Smith, whose player comp is Travis Sanheim? So like so do they change their trade approaches? Instead of trading for Zegras, do they trade for someone else that maybe they're more in on David Jiricek?
Exactly. I was going to just say that right there. Like, they could be in on all these other guys. Maybe they take Bouillon, like we said. Like, there's so many things there. And yeah, Travis Sanheim doesn't fit the timeline. Travis Konechny doesn't fit the timeline. Like, should they? Not really. I guess. Well, we'll see how Konechny ages, because he's putting up the points this year. But we really need to see him get going. Sanheim's 29. He's under contract, but like with the cap going up, $6.25 million for Sanheim,
nothing
is great. And like, I don't think any of those players they would have drafted are going to be as good as Sanheim is. Like, I think Sanheim's a true number one. He's not a Norris Trophy winner that people want when they talk about a true number one, but I think he's a top 20, 25 defenseman in the league right now.
Yeah. I also am still convinced he's not going to finish that contract in a Flyers uniform. I think people forget that it isn't a full NMC for the entire contract. It's only a full NTC for the first 4 years. And then the last 4 is like a 10 or 15
12 team
NTC over the last 4 years. So there's still a possibility. When does that, 2027? Does it switch
years
over?
5 to 8. So yeah, around year 8 is 2032. So yeah, then in a few years it switches over. But I don't think so. I don't think the Flyers with their family, Sanheim. I think Sanheim Konechny just finished their career in Philadelphia. I really do. I think Couturier, Konechny, Sanheim, if they were going to move them, it would have been already.
I mean, probably, but I don't know if Connor McDavid is suddenly available in 2 years, 3 years, or whatever it is because he's sick of that shit in Edmonton, and you need to send some good players back. Travis Sanheim's a good player. Same thing could be with Austin Matthews, whose contract expires at the same time as McDavid's.
Yeah.
And the Leafs and the Oilers both look like shit this season. There was one other player that has a contract expiring then that I am just blanking on, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But it's it's crazy to think how much of a dovetail actually trading Travis Sanheim would have been for this rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
everyone wanted to trade him. Everyone wanted to trade him. A lot of people wanted to trade Konechny. People still wanted to trade Sean Couturier, mostly because his contract is awful. But
well, good luck.
yeah, good luck having some team take that. You'd have to take back another bad contract that's slightly shorter, probably, or something. But
And he has to like waive his NMC. Like I cannot envision a world where the Flyers are going to ask a dude to waive
no,
their no
no,
trade
their
clause.
captain, no, absolutely.
Or their
And
alternate in Konechny
yeah,
or
or
Sanheim
Sanheim.
now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think they're
So
going to end their careers in Philly, or at least play out these contracts. And that's what the Flyers are doing. They're rebuilding through a culture, through having players want to come here, through letting these players not go through years of losing and losing. Playing competitive hockey all year long helps. Making the playoffs, even if you lose in four or five games, it helps getting that experience to see what type of intensity those games are. Which is why when I see people say, "Oh, the Flyers got a tank to get one of these franchise changing six players
oh,
in the next draft," it's just such a lazy, boring take. I'm not going to say it's wrong. A tank could maybe work, whatever, but why are these people afraid to say, why are these people afraid to give Danny Briere any sort of props for what he has done? I don't think he's made a bad trade yet. I don't think he has made one bad trade. Maybe there's some trades that he didn't win, a so-so trade here, but he has found Sean Walker. He flipped him for a first round pick. He found Christian Dvorak here, who, yeah, you had to overpay. It's a 1 year deal. He's looking fantastic. Like
Vladar.
Vladar, credit to Kim Dillabaugh for finding him and saying he's the guy that he sees the best tools in.
Might
Trevor
have saved his job.
the,
Might
Tre-
have
the
saved his job.
Trevor Zegras trade. I don't know why more people weren't talking about that at the time, and especially now when he's proving he can be a point per game player. Like he got rid of Farabee and Frost at the right time. Like they're
Yeah.
not looking too good. They have big contracts, and you can't just tank. Tanking does not work. Yes, I tweeted about it. I skated about it. How the Panthers did not tank. They didn't intentionally tank. They were just a horribly run organization. They got
Yep.
Ekblad, Barkov, and Huberdeau in consecutive years in the top four or three picks there. But
Mhm.
the big change was, trading Huberdeau and trading Uyghur to the Flames for Kachuk, and they got another defenseman there. But that's the big thing, is like making those trades to take a risk and change the franchise. And like Briere has shown he can do that. Like he's not afraid to make a deal. He's not afraid to make
To take a
trades. Like,
risk.
yeah, and I don't think national insiders, quote unquote, should be afraid to take a risk to say, hey, the Flyers are doing it differently, but maybe this is a good way to do it. Because you look at Buffalo, you look at Detroit, you look at San Jose's fun right now. Macklin Celebrini looks amazing, but who knows how long that's going to take? The Panthers took 10 years to win a Stanley Cup, and coaching changes and trades. Like, and as a fan, like you don't want to watch tanking hockey. Like Saturday night was fun, a rivalry game against the Devils. Like you don't want to watch just okay, whatever. It's not a video game. You can't simulate to the end of the season and be like, all right, let's get some good draft picks. You don't have guaranteed top 5 picks, and getting a top 15 pick can be the same, if not better, if you have the right scouts, which the Flyers have. That's the big thing, is developing, scouting, picking the right guys that have the tools that you can change. You don't
Yep.
pick the guy that is the best on the board. You pick the guy that is the best projectable. Like, because they might not be the best guy at age 18, but no one is grown at age 18. You look at the guy that can be like, okay, who's going to be good in 3, 5, 10 years to stick it out and get these guys that, yeah, if you have too many, you can trade them. The Flyers have too many wingers right now. They're going to trade one eventually, but it's a lot better than being in Buffalo or being, well, not Chicago because they had a dynasty before, but like these teams that just have done nothing for decades. Like, yeah, it's not fun being, oh, maybe they'll make the playoffs, maybe they'll be on the cusp, but it's a lot more fun than winning 20 games a year and just sucking.
Your Skeet like really reminded me of it really made me reconsider it again. A couple months ago, I wrote about how the Flyers didn't tank, but got the talent that teams tank for in Martone and Michkov. I don't think people appreciate just what an incredible run of talent the 2023, 2024, and 2025 drafts have been. Like Bedard, Celebrini, Schaefer are unbelievable prospects and players. You look at the 3 previous years, you've got Alexis Lafreniere, Owen Power, and Juraj Slafkovsky. You guys are talking about tanking for top picks. How are the Rangers doing? They picked first and second overall. They got Capo Kakko and Alexis Lafreniere. Kakko's in Seattle now, and Lafreniere never lived up to his draft slot. Even the Canadiens, I've mentioned it before, they had 3 top 5 picks. Slafkovsky isn't even the 3rd best player on the team. And he was a first overall selection, and one of them hasn't even cracked the NHL. The LA Kings is another example. They picked Quinton Byfield at 2, Alex Turcotte at 5. Turcotte might not even be a viable NHL player, and Byfield's really good. But I don't know if he's like the franchise cornerstone you expect to get at 2nd overall. I think we just got spoiled because, especially with 2023, you had that run of Bedard, Carlson, Fantilli, Smith, and Michkov in whatever order you want to put them. That doesn't happen all the time. That was the year to get a top pick, to get that guy. Flyers got that guy at 7 in Michkov. 2024, Celebrini is a stud. Behind him, good players, but I don't know if there's a franchise core. It's too soon to tell.
No.
2025, too soon to tell. But Schaefer out the gate looks outstanding.
Martone looks amazing too. The fact that he fell to 5, the fact that he fell to 5 is 6. Yeah, if he was a center, he probably would have went 2. And
absolutely.
Yeah, he's the big body. Like, you don't need, if you have a winger like him with Luchenko and Michkov on a line, or him with Nesbitt, if Nesbitt can turn into something, Michkov would be absolutely incredible there. And like the Oilers, like you look at they have McDavid, they have Draisaitl, they have not won a Stanley Cup. They tanked for years. Taylor Hall, Nugent Hopkins, Nail Yakupov, Darnell Nurse, Leon Draisaitl, McDavid, Jesse Pujol, Yamamoto, Bouchard, Philip Broberg, Dylan Holloway. Like,
not there anymore because they mismanaged their cap so badly that the St. Louis Blues were able to tender them offer sheets. What the fuck were they thinking?
I get it when maybe like not the most diehard hockey or Flyers fans are like, oh, why don't the Flyers just tank? It's not like the NBA where you can get a Joel Embiid, and that barely even worked. You made 1 Eastern Conference final. Like, they didn't build the right way around him. They forced Sam Hinkie out, unfortunately. It's not like football where you can tank, get a quarterback, and you're saved. And even in football, you need offensive linemen. You got to win in the trenches. And hockey,
part of it for that is different too, because the players are older when you draft them.
Yes,
you're drafting 18-year-olds in the NHL, but for the NFL, they've already pretty much finished their college careers, right?
And another team I want to look at is the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes haven't won a cup yet, have not made the Stanley Cup final even, but every year they're one of the favorites at our good sponsor FanDuel. They're one of the top favorites there to win the East, one of the top favorites to win the Stanley Cup. They didn't tank. Their only top 10 pick is Svechnikov at 2nd overall in 2018. Seth Jarvis was a 13th overall pick. Marty Necas was a 12th overall pick. Jake Bean, 13th overall. Noah Hannafin, 5th overall. They ended up trading Aho, 2nd round pick. It's finding these guys with your scouts. Hayden Fleury, 7th overall. Elias Lindholm, 5th overall. Like, it's not as simple to just tank and then become a contender, because everything has to go right, and it takes 10 years. If you build the culture the right way, the Flyers can make the playoffs this year. The Flyers can be a true contender maybe next year in the East with the way the Metropolitan's going. Like, it's a much quicker turnaround, and it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun.
No, like the Metro is on a downswing at exactly the right time that the Flyers will be able to take advantage of it, I think.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the Canes, and about a year ago, I wrote an article about one team that did it even better, and I think it's the Dallas Stars. They had one singular top 5 pick, and it was Miro Heiskanen. Sometimes you get lucky and you get like a should-be Norris contender 3rd overall, but
Yeah.
that was their highest pick. Their next highest pick since 2017 was Ty Dellandrea at 13th overall, and I think they
Yeah.
traded him, or he might still be
I
there.
think he's middle. He think he's like a bottom sixer for them right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but you look at the rest of their 2017, Jake Ottinger and Jason Robertson. Boom, there is your like
Yeah.
core forward and goaltender. Rupe Hintz, 2nd round in 2015. Boom, there's your top line center. Who else? Thomas Harley is a stud on the rise. Just signed his like massive extension. Wyatt Johnston, holy shit, 23rd overall. Like you can build an outstanding team. You just have to count on your scouts and your management's ability to make trades when they need to. So far, like you said, Danny Briere has shown he's willing to make trades even if they're risky, and he hasn't outright lost one yet. We are starting to see that the scouts probably do have a good sense. I know it's Gauthier, but he was picked by Fletcher, but that was still Brent Flair. They were right to pick him at 5. He was the correct pick at 5, even if the public consensus had him ranked lower in the draft order. And I think maybe with Luchenko getting traded, we might be able to see what they saw in him when he's surrounded by better players. Because remember, when he was on the Flyers, his most frequent line mates were Garnet Hathaway and Nikita Grabenkin.
Yeah, that was rough there. So there's multiple ways to skin a chicken here, and you can
wait.
do it.
I would just like to say, I see a comment that says the Flyers have never been good at drafting.
Yeah,
that's you can't just say, well, they were never good at drafting, so they're never
also
going
like name a team that's good at drafting. Name an NHL team that's good at drafting. You don't know. Like, oh, are the Oilers good because they got McDavid? Are the Stars? Maybe the Stars are good, but maybe the Flyers are good now. Maybe they're better now. Like it's a lot of it's luck too. Like a lot of hockey is just luck. It's a fucking
just one bounce.
It's a puck on ice. Like it's but I do want to touch on something we've touched on for a few weeks now. Is Trevor Zegras, where he fits in the future, and what his contract should look like. Because like I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, if they sign Trevor Zegras right now, what would I want that to be? Some comparables just on the Flyers here. Tippett 6.2 million, Konechny 8.7. I don't think I'm comfortable giving him more than too many, like 3 or 4 years though. Like I want to see this.
Really?
I want to see this for more, especially if he's not a center. Maybe you can get him at a discount at the wing and he becomes a center, and that's an even bigger steal. But I don't know if we can look at this 20 game sample size and be like, all right, let's give this guy $8 million a year for the next 7 years.
I would do it. I would sign an 8x8. If that was what he would take, he'd be stupid to sign that, honestly, like the way he's playing.
Probably.
But I don't know, man. Everyone's like, oh, Tockett's not going to play him at center. He might have to eventually. Like there's
not if they're looking to trade for a depth center. They would rather trade for a center than play Zegras at center. Like put Zegras at center,
now,
put Dvorak at 4C, and your team's so much better.
It could still just be temporary. Like, yeah, we want a depth center to finish out the season, but if Zegras establishes himself, or we trade Dvorak or something like that, and they move him to center, like just take the gamble, take the risk. The Owen Tippett contract's the biggest risk of a contract. Well, maybe Travis Konechny was a bigger risk of a contract, but you know, I mean, I think you take that risk. Because it's not just the 20 games he's played with the Flyers. We saw 2 seasons of it in Anaheim and then 2 seasons down. But he had those 2 up seasons, and if he's getting back to that and better than that, I think you got to lock it up.
Yeah, I don't know when the Flyers are going to do it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if news breaks while we're recording that the Flyers extend Trevor Zegras. I wouldn't surprise me if they wait till like
Christmas.
Wait till January, February. Like wait till see what he can do for the full season. just want to respond to this guy in the chat. Like, how many generational players have they drafted since 1990? How many generational players are there in the NHL since 1990? And you have to luck into the number 1 overall pick. Oh, sorry. The Flyers should have got Patrick Kane. They got JVR instead. That's their fault? They're not good at drafting. If they were better at lottery balls, they'd get Patrick Kane. Like, it's just a stupid argument that so many of these fans have, and it's a lot easier to be negative because if the Flyers win, if they're successful, the negative fans are get to enjoy it, and if they lose, like, oh well, I was right. They should have done this. It's just so frustrating.
Look at Matthew Schaefer. How are the Islanders? They finished like 11th in the draft order and won the lottery.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
Like you can't bank on it. Like the Sharks and the Blackhawks were bad at precisely the right time to be bad. You can't replicate that run. The Hawks walked the past 3 years with Bedard, Levshunov, and Frondell. Mm-hmm. You could just as easily be like, oh, we ended up with Lafreniere, Power, and Beniers. That wouldn't, or Slafkovsky, Beniers, and I don't know, whoever. Whatever. It's not good enough. That's not a core.
Nolan Patrick is being brought up in the chat as if that was something that could have been. Imagine if they passed on Nolan Patrick and Nolan Patrick became generational and didn't have concussion issues like that. It's just a stupid argument. But
I mean, what do you want? Do you want Hextall to listen to the consensus and take the guy that his scouts were apparently telling him not to take?
Who knows?
Or do you want Danny Briere ignoring the scouts and drafting Jack Nesbitt or Jet Luchenko earlier because he trusts his people? I mean, it's got to be one or the other. Anyway, you
can cherry pick arguments on both sides, but I'm just looking at some centers, wingers that have signed recently to see what Zegras could maybe go for. Like Kempe got $10.6 million for 8 years. Logan Cooley got $10 million for 8 years. He's 21. Yeah. Ehlers got 8.5 for 6 years in Carolina in the open market there. I know maybe he wanted to go there. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Zegras, with the cap going up, and what the Flyers want to do because they don't know.
They got money to burn. They traded Ryan Ellis's contract after all. They've got a bunch of money falling off the books next year. I think the Atkinson buyout, the Hayes, the retention, and is TDA still on our books? I don't think so. Right?
I don't think so. I don't have cap wages up now. No, just Hayes and Lawton for one more year. This Lawton. Is last year. Yeah.
And Atkinson too. Isn't he still there for the buyout?
Yes, $1.7 million for the 1 more year.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. No. NM Stack in the chat says, "Got you guys wound up. Great discussion." No, thank you. It's a great content there. We need back and forth. If everyone agreed, it would not be interesting here. Name me one good defenseman draft by Flyers aside of Travis Sanheim. Shane Gostisbehere, fantastic find. Whatever round they got.
Provorov, for all his faults, a good defenseman, just not as good as like what you would have expected.
No. Cam York's turning into quite. Would you rather have Cam York or Cole Caulfield right now?
Ooh,
it's tough, right? Cole Caulfield. I mean, Cam York's coming into his own here under time.
It's what you said earlier. It's not about who's the best in the short term. It's who's going to be the best when it matters down the road. Cam York might be turning into that guy. I still like Oliver Bonk. I think he could probably be. I think it's slept on. Every scout is like, yeah, he's just going to be a reliable top 4 defenseman, and they kind of just shrug at that. I'm like, that's an extremely valuable player to have, especially if expansion happens again and dilutes the league even further. Do you know how extremely valuable a top 4 defenseman is going to be in a few years? Who else? Is there anyone else recently that I'm like sleeping on? I know we have a few Spencer Gill fans in the Broad Street Hockey Slack.
I don't know. Let's get into predictions here. I'm not trying to go too long.
We started late today.
Yeah, we started late, finishing late. All right, tonight against the Lightning. I really wish there was Dan Vladar in that, but I understand giving him a break ahead of this 4-6, a huge 4-6 at Tampa, at Florida, at the Islanders, and then at the Devils for a back-to-back on Friday and Saturday. What you got tonight in Tampa Bay?
Is Vasilevsky starting? I think
He is.
he is. Boy, they are missing Hedman. They are missing Point.
Yeah.
Harrison seems to play well in Florida for some reason. I think I'm feeling another Flyers win. They've got some momentum, and I'm gonna go with a 4-2 Flyers win.
Ooh, regulation win back-to-back games. That would be wild.
Can you imagine? They're allowed to do that, you know.
Plan the parade.
That's permitted.
Plan the parade there. I'm going with a 4-1 Lightning win. I just could see a letdown game. I think the Lightning, John Cooper is going to have his team playing a more defensively sound game without a Hedman. I think Chernak is out as well. Then we have Wednesday against the Panthers there. Panthers are coming off a loss to Edmonton. They play in Nashville tonight. They've been a good home team. I'm gonna go 3-2 overtime win.
Did you say this was the second half of a back-to-back?
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, dang! I was gonna be like, if we aren't facing Bob, I'm going to go 3-2 shootout win.
All right.
If I'm allowed to do that. I know it's the same score, but...
Yeah. Then at the Islanders, I think it's a Black Friday. I think it's a matinee there.
It is.
3 or so, which they're not playing at home because the Eagles are playing at home on Friday, which sucks.
Ooh.
But sorry to bring up the Eagles after yesterday, all you go Birds out there. At the Islanders, I don't know what to make of the Islanders. I really don't. They wanted to shoot out in the first meeting, right? What was that like 5? What was it? 5-4? Or I'm trying to find it. Why can't I find it?
Do not remember.
4-3 was the shootout win there. Yeah, I'll go 4-3 shootout win again.
I think they lose this one. I think the Thanksgiving hangover. They're gonna lose 5-2.
Okay, and then it is a back-to-back going against the Devils on Saturday. I imagine it's a back-to-back for the Devils too. Devils are up in Buffalo on Friday. Have to come back down for Saturday. So Flyers have the rest advantage there, kind of the travel advantage at the very least. I'm gonna go for a 4-3 overtime win. Just give me another overtime game here.
Oh, I think it's this is tough. I'm gonna say their goaltending's bad. I'm gonna go 5-4 regulation.
5-4 win. All right, that'll be a good one there.
They're gonna have like a really like nail biting end of that third period where it looks like the Devils are gonna score, but they're gonna manage.
Yeah, 4-game road trip. The Flyers are back home for 6 straight: Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Avs, San Jose, Vegas, and Carolina. So Joe, will the Flyers be in a playoff spot on Thursday?
They've got 2 games before then.
Tampa.
Yes, I think they bring the sunshine back from Florida with them, and it's a playoff berth. Although I don't think that's going to mean anything this year. Like it's crazy.
No, I think they won't be in by points, but they will be by point percentage. I think is what the case will be.
They're like 4 games behind some teams or something.
Yeah,
like,
Bruins have 24 games, Flyers have 20, but behind
they were the last team to reach 20 games this season. So like you look at the standings points and you're like, oh, they're so far behind, but they have like 3 games in hand on anyone that matters. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week sometime. Jill might have to have a fill-in host depending on how I am feeling. But Joe, where can people find you?
You can find me live tweeting today's game at jfdmarini.bluesky. B-Sky. What the fuck? jfdmarini.bsky.social.
Yeah. And you can find me on Blue Sky at ryangilbert.bsky.social. Once again, thanks to FanDuel for sponsoring us. All right. Until next time. Thanks for listening.
Go Flyers and happy Thanksgiving.